Neeraj Chopra created history for India by winning the first gold medal in the athletics event at the Tokyo Olympics of 2021. Something similar was happening in Tokyo, which was an event meant for special athletes or athletes who are differently abled, and that is called the Paralympics. And in that Paralympic event of 2021, India won 5 gold medals. Avni Lekhara, who won gold in the 10 meters rifle shooting competition, and also bronze in the 50 meters rifle shooting again. She created history by winning 2 medals in the same event. There was another person, Pramod Bhagat, who won gold in the badminton event. Sumit Antil, who also won gold in the javelin. Actually, he broke 3 world records in the same day, in the same event, which was again a terrific thing for India. So Sumit Antil, Pramod Bhagat, Avani Lekhara, these are the people who made India proud in that Tokyo Paralympics. As the motto of that Olympics goes, united by emotion. These people, these athletes were united by their emotions. And this particular poem that we're about to study, 9 gold medals by David Roth, also has similar theme running along its sentences. David Lee Roth, again, just a small introduction about him, is a very famous rock vocalist from the 1980s from the band Van Halen, the band which has already been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And some of the very famous songs are Jump, This Must Be Just Like Living in Paradise, Eruption, and so many others. So here, David Lee Roth now turns himself into a poet, and he talks about this event where athletes had come from all over the country. The athletes had come from all over the country to run for the gold, for the silver, and bronze. Many weeks and months of training, all coming down to these games. So see, now it's all boiling down to these final events of this particular sporting event. And for this, the athletes had trained for so many months, waking up early in the morning, working out in the field, sweating out, eating right, and doing all the hard work. And now it's now finally coming down to this particular event where they have to show all that training. And the spectators gathered around the old field to cheer on all the young women and men. All the spectators had also come to see their personal favorites, to see who would win this particular event. The final event of the day was approaching. Excitement grew high to begin. And as it is with these big events, especially the 100-meter dash and the 100-meter run, people are usually excited, the most excited about these events. People come to see the way people come or line up to see Usain Bolt run, the fastest man in the world. In a similar way, the spectators had gathered around to cheer up for their personal favorites. The blocks were all lined up for those who would use them, the 100-yard dash and the race to be run. Now the blocks from where they would sprint on their respective tracks, they all were lined up before the starting line. And now all the athletes were adjusting themselves on those blocks, all their muscles tight. The blocks were all lined up for those who would use them, the 100-yard dash and the race to run. These were 9 resolved athletes in the back of the starting line, poised for the sound of the gun. Now they have shut everything outside, and they're just focused on that particular track and the sound of the pistol firing, and they would need to jumpstart. All the muscles in the body are tight. The signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runners, all charging ahead. Now this race began, and all of them sprinted ahead, and now everybody is competitive, and everybody wants to be the first one to cross the finishing line. And just then, but the smallest among them, he stumbled and staggered and fell to the asphalt instead. Just then, the smallest runner among them, he stumbled and staggered because he did not have a great start from the starting line. Something must have happened. He must have pulled a muscle or something like that. So he fell to the asphalt instead. He gave out a cry in frustration and anguish. His dreams and his efforts all dashed in the dirt. As he was falling on the asphalt, he could see all his dreams, the months of training, his hard work, all of them crashing with him, his dreams crashing with him. In that brief second of him falling down, of him falling over, he could also see his dreams falling over with him. But as sure as I'm standing here telling this story, the same goes for what next occurred. But David Lee Roth here says something surprising happened. The 8 other runners pulled up on their heels, the ones who had trained for so long to compete. These people who had already started the race and they were halfway through it, suddenly all of them stopped running. And the spectators were, why are these people stopping? But now, the ones who had trained for so long to compete, one by one, they all turned around and went back to help him and brought the young boy to his feet. Instead of going towards the finishing line, they all turned back, all 8 of them, and then they brought the young boy to his feet. They helped him to get to his feet. They understood, seeing the spirit of the game. It's not just about winning and every time, it's also about sportsmanship, brotherhood, and keeping alive this long held tradition of excellence, not just physical excellence, but also excellence in your conduct with each other. That is what this particular action of the 8 other athletes exemplified when they all turned back and gave up their run and went back to help this boy on his feet. Then all the 9 runners joined hands and continued the 100-yard dash, now reduced to a walk. Now all of them smiling and hurtling themselves slowly towards the finishing line because they knew that this race, now the event had become more than what it actually was. But now that 100 meters has all risen to that level of sportsmanship. Then all the 9 runners joined hands and continued their 100-yard dash, now reduced to a walk, and a banner above that said Special Olympics could not have been more on the mark. Now the athletes as well as the spectators understood the spirit of the game is more important than anything. The cutthroat dash, that we will keep for some other day. But today it's a day of being with each other. That's how the race ended with 9 gold medals. They came to the finish line holding hands still. See, every one of them won that medal. Not just gold, but the heart of all the spectators who had come to see them race. And a standing ovation and 9 beaming faces said more than these words ever will. Even this poetry of mine will not do justice to what these 9 athletes did on that particular track and field. They impressed everyone on that podium that day. And they won the gold medal not for just for themselves, but for humanity, for brotherhood, for peace, and for love.